Okay.
It's my hooch.
Those items sound good, Marlo. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Transient Presents. I'm your host, Samantha, also known as Transient. We had Marlo here. I don't know if that's another user error of them jumping out, but they are here. So joining us today, as usual, is my co-host Marlo. You can find her on Twitter at Marlo Bogwitch. That's with two G's like Snoop Dogg. I don't know if you come up with any retort to that, but we had a week off, so you had plenty of time. But let everyone know how you are, where to find you, all the good things.
It's the B-O-double-G. That's all I got. I'm not even gonna try to rap because I'm white as white. But hi, I'm Marlo, and yeah, as Sam said, you can find me at Marlo Bogwitch on Twitter. Not a whole lot going on right now. I am in the throes of putting together a Morkborg campaign, which will start running next Tuesday, and I'll have these two lovely folks on it, and I am so excited. To take them on this weird, wild journey that I have planned. That they will.
What?
She froze.
Is she frozen? Okay.
Am I frozen? Did I freeze?
You were frozen for a second, yeah.
You're good now.
I don't know what's going on.
I just thought you were just like holding a shocked face.
But yeah, that, and then this Saturday I have a 5e game over on Featherfall Tabletop, where I will be playing a bard, a College of Nightmares bard, and she is spooky ooky and just the type of character that I like to play.
Nice.
Other than that, I'm here, and I'm taking a bit of a hiatus from streaming for the most part, other than a few select things, because I have some exams coming up. So, yay!
Yeah, also, anyone running 5e games, if you will let me be an anthro in your game, I will totally play 5e. I might not enjoy it, but I'll enjoy getting to be a for that session. Next up, but certainly not the least of us, is you're not even our newest cast member anymore, you're just the cast member, Nico, who can be found on Twitter at Satan Solaris. Tell everyone how you are, where to find you, anything coming up.
Morkborg is coming up.
Morkborg.
I will be playing a moth person. I love that. I haven't played it, and I love it. It's amazing. Sorry, strange noises. Probably the kid. Let's hope. We'll find out soon. Yeah, any of my contact, I do this, and some other projects coming up with anyway, is that buzzing for anybody else?
No, I can't hear it on my side.
Cool, I'll deal with it. I write, and I'm here, and all my stuff is on Sayeth Solaris on my pinned tweet.
You should definitely check it out. They are a great writer, and they're often sending us samples of things that are really enjoyable to read. So definitely recommend checking those out. Definitely recommend sticking around to see what Nico's going to be offering us. We are looking to fill shows on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So hopefully those slots will be filled along with... Well, they say they can hear it on the stream, Nico, but I can't hear it on my side at all. It may just be a connection or something, but
weird.
Outside of the 3 live play shows, we're also going to hopefully be releasing the monthly audio drama, which will hopefully have these 2 lovely people in it as well, among a bunch of other voice acting people who will be joining us. So that'll be a good time. That'll be a monthly release, fully scripted, audio, music, all that fun stuff. Outside of that, our Patreon's up. Find us at patreon.com/transientpresents. There's 5 tiers. All of them offer great benefits and stuff. Even the chance to play in games with us. So take a look there. Definitely check us out. But without further ado, we're going to do, since this is a new season, I'd like to introduce our characters real quick, give people an idea of the new roles you will be filling, and then I am ready to delve into the story. So, Marlo, if you'd like to go. Actually, no. Nico, you're the only survivor of season 1. Please introduce your newest character.
Advantage! I am Spider Danvers, 40-ish male, rather short, wiry, kind of but olive-ish skin, kind of like mine, but pale from years of incarceration. He is about a year into a 20-year sentence. He finally, a thief raised by thieves who finally thiefed one time too many and got busted. And that may not be the worst thing he did. It'll probably come, I'm sure, will come back to haunt him. But he's not his own person, strictly speaking. There are very bad people who believe that his agency and his life belong to them.
Excellent. I'm very excited to show you what I have written to happen to Spider. About your dark secrets, as usual. Marlo, you are next up. You played the second to last survivor last season. I'm glad to have you back. So please introduce Audrey Kemp.
Glad to be here and alive. Yes, so I am going to be playing Audrey Kemp. She is a ex-cult leader? I don't know. Is that one of those things like can you be an ex-cult leader? Or you?
It's like being a Marine. Once a cult leader, always a cult leader.
Hoorah!
Simper die over here. Audrey is she's a captivating type of person. She's very she has the gift of gab. She tries to be incredibly sly, and she had a large group of followers. She doesn't anymore. And maybe that'll come out as the story goes on, the story behind that. She is in here because, yeah, the government came down on their heads, but just a bit too late. So, yeah.
That's one way to say it. Awesome. I am ready to tell this story for both of you. I'm sure it'll be a great time. I'm not going to bother with muting my microphone because every other time I've done that, we've lost connection and had tech issues and a bunch of nonsense that I don't really care about. So sometimes you'll hear my blind dog barking in the background. He can't help it. Everything scares him. He can't see. And he's like a 8-pound chihuahua. So outside of that, hopefully we'll have a good show for you tonight. And tonight, instead of the Night Mother, I will be taking on the role of the Warden for now and for the next 10 episodes. So, without further ado, I'm going to start off by reading the lead-ins from last night to give the people who missed it kind of a grain in here. And then I will give you follow-up. So I'll do one of your lead-ins, let you play the scene up to the point where the other character would be, and then go back and allow the other one. Good to go? Okay. Since I did post Nico's first, we'll begin with Nico. Spider, you have done well this past year managing to stay under the radar and just get through your sentence without anyone finding out the truth. This changed 2 months ago when the notes began showing up. Each morning you awoken to find them always hidden where only you would need to look that day. Under your pillow, close to the toilet during the times only you would be using it, close to the sink, in your clothes pocket. They're always written in ash, using what looks like delicate fingers to do the writing. They always say the same thing. I know. Signed TW. At first, you blamed your cellmate, and having been in the hole for 2 days with no notes, you feel justified in beating them up for it. Enjoying the quiet, you are unaware of the lights in the solitary hall turning off one by one, so you are plunged into inky darkness. As you rise to your feet in curiosity, the door to your cell clicks, then pops as the heavy lock disengages, and the door swings open onto darkness. I know. A voice whispers in the distance, and you are left to choose your destiny. What do you do?
Is it safe to assume I don't actually have anything on me if I'm in the hole, or...
You still have your Slaughterhouse 5 copy.
Okay. I'm, tentatively and very consciously, quietly, peeking around outside the door, seeing what I can scope.
As you peer out the door in the direction you would assume would be the proper way to the end of the hallway, as your cell is situated at the far end, you can make out a dim light. It has a red glow to it and seems to be searching for something as it sways back and forth in the adjacent hallway before turning into your hall and shutting off completely. You hear the soft buzz as though propellers are spinning rapidly in the darkness ahead of you.
I've heard of will-o'-the-wisps, but, fuck it. I'm, gonna head down the hall. Being very cautious, very aware.
As you head down the hall, the whirring will reposition itself as though moving behind and above you to follow you down the hallway. When you reach the end of the hall, where the adjacent hall should be, you are instead met by a solid door, which seems to have been closed whenever the object was entered the hallway with you. On the other side of the door, you hear some kind of conversation and more of the whirring sounds. And then the door in front of you unlocks and opens slightly, allowing a small amount of light to come through.
Listen. Do I hear the conversation? Do I hear breathing? Footsteps? Anything?
You hear, for a moment, some hushed conversation, but it sounds like the person is speaking to themselves. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Can't keep dragging both of them along with me. You hear the sound of something heavy being dragged across a room, and something else being moved to follow it, before a door is slammed shut on the other side of the room again, leaving only silence.
I'm going to step into the door. I'm not going to close it behind me, but I'm going to pull it a little bit too and see where I'm at. Can I get any kind of bearing?
Stepping into the room, you find yourself somewhere unfamiliar. This shouldn't actually be here. You know that the path to solitary is 3 hallways and then a turn to the solitary hall itself. The room is empty, save for a large TV screen set into the far wall across from you, and 3 metal chairs seated in the center of it facing the television. The whirring thing that was behind you also came into the room when you opened the door. You can now see that it is a basketball-sized drone or robot of some sort, with several propellers coming out of the top of it to hold it aloft. On its front face is what would be a large eye, but rather than a pupil or lens, is carved in a Kult symbol you do not recognize.
What the fuck?
It moves in front of your face, and after several clicks, there's a bright flash, as though you just were taken a picture of, and the drone hovers away, back out of the room, and down a different hallway.
Is there a corners, or what's the light level like in here?
The light is set in such a way to make you very uncomfortable. It is fluorescent and painfully so, with no covering on the recessed lighting. It makes the gray walls have a kind of sickly palate to them.
Okay, well, I'm at least getting a wall behind my back, um, where I can keep an eye on the doors and on the chairs and anything. I'm not good with this. But
The safest place is the corner closest to you, where there's a door on each wall of the room. Things seem to settle down. Continue.
I'm gonna crouch, but like a ready crouch.
Okay.
Low profile, low target, but ready to move.
I just realized that the live channel, even though I changed it, is saying we have the wrong. I'll fix that as I continue to tell you. Things seem relatively calm inside of the facility, or inside of the room, as you crouch down in your ready position. Though, through one of the doors on the far side of it, you hear more movement and the closing of more cells. For now, though, you think that you may be safe. Audrey. Well, let me just fix this first, before I have to read 4 paragraphs to Marlo here. So it'll only take me a second to type in rat in a cage. We're saying we were playing Quake Champions, and we are obviously not playing Quake Champions. With that fixed, Audrey, you have been unable to sleep in the 6 hours since lights out. Not because of the usual emergency light coming in through the tiny porthole of your cell door, but because of the lack of it. Your cell door clicks, then sorry, the paragraphs got out of order, and that is frustrating for me. Shortly after your final head count and lights out, you watch as the outline of a woman had slowly risen from below to fill the porthole and peer in at you. Though the darkness makes it impossible to see her face, you have tried threatening her and questioning her, all for naught. Without the voice to guide you, without your flock to lead, you are already on edge, and the situation has begun to unnerve you greatly. Take a breath to call the CO again, but exhale sharply at the din of lights shattering in the hallways around you. As a spider, your cell door clicks, then pops as the heavy lock is disengaged and the door slowly swings open. The woman no longer there. In the darkness beyond, the familiar voice whispers to you like a child being called home. What do you do?
I get up and slide the slip-on shoes on that are beside my bed.
Your orange Crocs.
Yeah. And I do the strap. Right.
Nice.
And I stare hard at the shadows beyond and slowly edge my way out of the room, peeking around to make sure there's no corrections officers around. This isn't a trap or something.
As you come into the hallway, where before you were on a second-story pod cell, you now appear to be on a first-floor enclosed hallway of some sort. There appears to be an outline of what you could assume to be a CO in the dark, but they're standing on the far end of the hall facing the wall itself. They don't seem to be talking to themselves or anything one would expect in this situation, simply standing. From the end of the hall, you will hear a sudden whirring and clicking, just as Spider had. Something moves through the darkness that you cannot see.
I opened my mouth to call out to the person figuring in this situation the best thing to do is to, if that's a CO, which it should be, to get their attention so that they can see I'm not trying to be, not trying to escape when the door is wide open. And upon hearing the sound stop, and my eyes widen, and I think suddenly, that sound does not sound like anything I've ever heard, here at least. I'm gonna go the opposite direction of that sound.
As you begin walking the direction opposite of the sound, which would take you towards the CO, you can hear the buzzing in the distance follow you from slightly behind and above. The CO by the wall continues to stand facing it. You recognize them as Officer Martinez, a frequent CO for your block. They seem rather dazed and unaware of your presence as you get closer.
Officer, the lights went out and my cell opened. Are you okay?
She'll sway for a moment, but not answer, continuing to stay there, staring at the wall. The buzzing will move around you, as though also inspecting the area, and then after a few clicks, there'll be a sudden pop as a blinding light flashes and reflects off the wall in front of you. For a moment, you can see illuminated a strange symbol carved where she is looking on the wall, before the darkness starts to take your vision again and the whirring flies around once more.
I turn to try to get my eyes on whatever just took that photo.
You turn around just before your eyes adjust back to the darkness to see the same basketball-sized drone-like object that Spider had seen. It hovers just above head level and then moves back some to raise itself higher into the air out of your reach.
I wave to it. Like, can you hear me? Whoever's watching me? I didn't know they
As you wave at
here.
As you wave at it in the dark, the symbol carved into the front of its lens will illuminate itself in red light, providing you with a bit of light to see. It'll squint some, literally closing the front part of its drone as though squinting an eyelid, and then open it back up fully. It'll buzz, and then move down the hallway as though leading you in a direction.
Is it going towards or away from the officer?
It's going the same direction as the officer, just going right past it.
Okay. I follow it as I get closer to the officer, still trying to talk to her. Officer, the drone's trying to take me somewhere and I don't want to get in trouble. I already mouthed off a little bit a couple days ago, so...
The officer will stop as you get closer, slowly turn to look at you. For a moment, her glazed over eyes will meet yours in a kind of blank stare. And then the voice will speak to you again. It tells you of how you can get out of here. Of how getting rid of this CO may be the first step, and how defenseless she happens to be. You remember a crowbar from long ago, and somewhere in the dark you hear the sound of metal hitting something wet and bony, like a distant memory. Then it fades. She continues to stare at you. What do you do?
I'm gonna move toward that sound.
As you move towards the sound, it takes you further in the direction that the drone went. You discover the sound to be coming from behind a cell door that is neither open nor unlocked. Through the porthole, you see someone tied to a chair. and standing over them, a woman furiously destroying what once made them human with a crowbar, using the weight of every blow and the strength of every turn to enact their fury upon this victim. There's something familiar and off-putting about the scene without the voice talking to you.
At first, when I see this, I look around to make sure nobody's watching me, and then watch this happen with this look as though, yeah, that's right.
The scene will continue until the man in the chair moves no more, and the woman will stand up straighter, holding the crowbar in one hand as it drips blood. And faintly, in the distance, you can hear praise, but also discomfort from people unseen. The one will turn towards the door, her face obscured by a leather mask without mouth or nose. She takes hold of the porthole screen and slides it closed, blocking your view. The drone continues to buzz a few feet ahead of you, waiting.
I look back at the CO again and stick my hand in my pocket and feel inside for a moment.
You do your best to see through the illusion as you slip your hand into your pocket, and the drone moves a little bit closer to survey the scene. A slot opens in the top of its head, and from it a small camera lens slides out, and the red light of recording flicks on. It seems to be interested in what will happen in this hallway.
I look up at the light as it turns on.
As the light turns,
look back at the CO.
As you look from the drone to the CO, the weight in your pocket will grow heavy, and the crowbar being used by the woman in the cell will fill the contents of most of it. It slips into your hand like it was always meant to be there, and the CO turns back to face the wall, as though unaware of anything happening. There's a clicking whir, and then the flash pop as the drone takes another picture.
I look up at the drone. What are you gonna do? Put me in for another lifetime? And then turn to the CO and raise it behind her head and hit her. I went blurry. Hit her with the crowbar.
The crowbar comes down, cutting through the air with a sound like a blade moving through a sheath. Before the sharp edge impacts her skull and makes her knees weak for a moment. She leans forward, her forehead connecting with the wall and leaving a slight blood splatter. And as you pull back, it sticks for a moment, giving you resistance before it pulls free. The CO stabilizes herself on the wall and woozily looks around, trying to figure out what is happening. The drone clicks, pops, and flashes another picture for its archive.
I am going to swing again. I am not going to let her live through this, because...
So you just want to kill her outright?
Yeah. Why not?
As you begin swinging, the drone seems to take a snapshot every time you pull free, while also recording and shifting its angles. By the time you're done, nothing is left to recognize CO Martinez, besides her uniform upon the ground, and the DNA upon your arms, and your prison uniform and crowbar. The camera on the top of the drone sinks back in and the slot closes once more. It moves in front of you to take a final picture and then buzz down the hallway again.
I follow it, saying, if you sell that for a snuff film, put a little money in my commissary, would you?
You'll hear a ka-ching sound come out of the drone as it reaches a door at the end of the hallway. The door pops and unlocks, opening slightly to reveal a small room, very clearly fluorescent.
I walk into the room, sliding the crowbar back into my pocket as best I can.
The drone follows you into the room. Spider. Directly across from you, the other door opens up, and Audrey Kemp steps into the room where you are. Her prison oranges are deeply stained with fresh gore and blood, and she seems to slide a heavy weapon into her pocket just as another one of those strange drones flies into the room above her head. It turns and takes a picture of her face, and then quickly leaves the room again, perhaps to find someone else. The two of you may roleplay as appropriate.
Slide up to standing against the wall. Just keep my eyes on you, hands out front.
You got any idea what the hell's going on here?
I don't even know what the hell you are here for. Like, I mean...
Oh, I look down at the blood.
I mean...
CO's acting crazy. I did what I had to.
Certainly a solution.
Certainly.
So whatever the hell is going on, apparently we're on TV, YouTube or whatever. I don't fucking know, but I mean, I'm used to being recorded, but I don't think this is the same kind of recording.
Well, I don't remember signing any kind of waiver, but what kind of rights do we have anyway, I guess?
None. Legally, I mean.
That's true. Well, I'm Audrey.
Spider.
Spider. I like that.
Why you here?
I sigh and look down. I caught my husband cheating. He and the girl that he was so unfortunate to have met, and the other guy that I guess was her boyfriend. Oh, I killed them all in bed.
Song as old as time, right?
Yep. I don't know. I didn't blame him for wanting to do all that, with another guy. He never told me that, but hey, they looked like they were having fun. Too bad it was at my expense. Yeah.
That's happened.
Hey, it's a thing.
Not a big believer in private property. The state disagreed.
Okay, I can't. That was like...
You gotta inject a little bit of ridiculousness into the story to make it more true.
They were all three of them, were they?
Yeah. He was just having a three-way with them. She just walked in on him having a three-way.
Crowbarred it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Squash the human centipede. Yeah.
Oh. She ripped straight through that Chinese finger trap. Oh, no.
Whoa! Oh, we gotta get back to the show.
There's a trick to it.
I'm gonna have to cut all this out in post. Okay. As you discover why Audrey was apparently sent to jail for the rest of her life, the door next to the TV opens and another prisoner enters. She is rather short, perhaps 4'10". I don't know what that is in metric. Stocky. Audrey, you recognize her from the same cell block that you were on. She has quite a severe burn that covers most of her right hand and arm, as well as part of her face, lower jaw. You recognize her as a serial arsonist, tried and convicted for killing several children in a fire she set to many schools across the city she lived in. She runs a hand over her shaved head. She looks at the two of you and grunts and looks at the chairs. Just as the drone takes a flashing pop picture of her. So, you can tell me, like, why I got woke up to come to this weird room here?
We're kind of guessing it might be some sort of new reality TV.
Yeah, great. I don't even get a TV at myself. She'll sit herself down in one of the chairs, seeming to just kind of ignore you and completely accept that Audrey is covered in the blood and gore of someone's skull most recently. She seems to want to be left alone for the most part, and it seems to be the choice to be as the TV flickers on, revealing a desk with a chair turned around. The 3 drones who brought you here will enter the room as well and hover around the ceiling to kind of observe what is going on. A small speaker will lower itself from the bottom of one. You'll hear it say sharply, "Please take your seats. Inmates, please take your seats. Inmates, please take your seats."
Okay. Take the seat.
Yeah, me too.
As you sit down, it'll click off immediately, even if it is mid-sentence, and roll itself back into the drone. Once you're settled in your seats, the chair will turn around, revealing a very well-dressed woman. Business suit, though her face is obscured by the mask of a plague doctor, worked in quite an ornate fashion, pin lining decorating most of it, and the open eyes covered with soft mesh to hide the eyes beneath. She raises her hands and smiles wide as she looks at the 3 of you, and then gleefully blinks her hands together. "I'm glad all 3 of you could make it. How are you today?" Oh, hold on. She'll hit something on her desk, and one of the drones will move down, and a small microphone will come out at the bottom of it, hovering between the 3 of you. Now then, as I was saying, you doing all right tonight? I hope I didn't disturb anyone's rest too much.
Well, we're all a little confused.
This is clearly not Angola. I mean, wasn't a co-ed facility last I saw.
Yes. Last time I did this, I didn't make it co-ed, and it was not quite as interesting as it could have been, so I need to change a few things this time. I hope you don't mind. I'm sure it will still be entertaining for everyone involved. Forgive me. I should introduce myself. I am the warden of this lovely establishment. I would tell you my name, but I doubt any of you will last long enough to remember it at this point. It's been such a shame the past 34 seasons. Regardless, like I said, I am the warden of the keep, and that is where you are, my lovely prison, the keep. The three of you and several others have been brought here to partake in a game, shall we say. Convicted of crimes that you would likely spend the rest of your life in jail for, or should be. She will tilt her head as she looks at Spider slightly, the direction clear from the point of her mask. But this is the chance to redeem yourselves, to make it out, and show that you are worth going back into society. But so far, my winners have been a big 0, so there's that. So anyways, are you ready to hear the rules? Are you interested? There's only 2 options, of course. You deny and you try to make it back to your cell before the drones kill you, or you accept and I tell you the rules of the game.
Sounds like an easy choice.
Choices come quite easily to you, Ms. Kemp, when you're not the one making them. Very well. Spider, are you in agreement then?
Sure.
I'm sure your cell is the closest, and you seem to be quite the runner.
Sure. Let's hear it.
Excellent. And our firebug here. The third will simply nod and kind of look away from the TV. Very well. You're currently on the 32nd floor of the keep. Above you are 6 more floors. Below you are, of course, 31 floors and 2 sub-basements. Located somewhere in the keep are 2 keys. You'll know them when you see them. If you wish to live, the 3 of you must retrieve these keys and find the door that they actually unlock. I can tell you that it is on the 4th floor. Unlocking the door will absolve you of all crimes committed in your lifetime and allow you to once more integrate in society. Of course, it will not be simple. There's also another set rule. As in the past, we have had problems of contestants tricking one another to try and get an advantage. Because, of course, 3 people can't be set free if 1 person can get the advantage for themselves. So the new rule is this. She'll touch something else on her keyboard, and there will be a sudden whirring as the 3 drones move forward, likely more quickly than you can respond, but you're welcome to try and avoid harm as sharp needles come forth from the drones and sharply inject your shoulders simultaneously with 4 shots in each.
What?
Spider, were you rolling to avoid? You do your best to resist, but the drone lowers 2 clamps to hold you back against your chair and inject you as well. The same happens to the arsonist, who seems to have even more of a problem with needles. As the strange chemicals run through your body, your vision will blur for a moment, and then suddenly clarify as it's never been before. You see things in such sharp focus that you didn't know such details could be around you. The very grain of the metal flooring you can see in perfect detail. And as all this comes into focus, around your shoulder, 2 rings of light will appear, both gold. All 3 of your names are inscribed across this ring of light and circle your shoulders continually. The final rule is this. All 6 light rings must make it through the door at the end. They are permanently attached to the shoulders. I repeat, all 6 light rings must make it through the final door. Good luck.
What makes the light rings turn off?
I can't tell you all of the fun now, can I? Note this. There are 16 other teams within the prison. No one here is your friend. They will do everything in their power to stop you from getting what they want. And so to make things more interesting, I have provided each of you a weapon. One of you already has it. Spider. Firebug. As for the two of you, please rise and move forward towards the TV. As the two of you approach, a slot will open below the TV and a tray will slide forth. Upon this tray is a headlamp and a flashlight. Below it is a rather upgraded version of your shiv, as well as your old shiv itself, kind of allowing you a dual-wield aspect. In the base of this other shiv has been wrapped a lock-picking kit consisting of 3 small tools. The Firebug also receives a small handheld mag light. Her weapon, however, seems quite different, though she's not unthrilled about the situation, as they appear to be 4 already made Molotov cocktails and a golden edge Zippo lighter.
Lovely.
She takes these as though hoarding treasures or the One Ring and tucks them into the jacket of her uniform. Once you have your items, the warden will yawn. Well, and the drones will be watching, and I'll be watching, of course. I'll check in every once in a while. If there's nothing else. No? Good luck, then. The TV will shut off, as will the lights in unison. There'll be the whir of the drones, but only of 2 of them leaving, and 1 moving into position to watch your progress. All 4 doors open. It is now up to you which way you go.
So, I propose we team up. I mean, I know the warden said teams, but it'll make life easier.
I got nothing better to do.
The Firebug will nod as well. If
Unless, oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If we don't, if not all 6 rings get through to the end, then we don't win. So it's in our best interest to not have to drag somebody's body. Right?
Ideally.
I mean, we could always just remove the arms if it comes down to it, right?
I'm sure there's a machete or a hacksaw among the weapons somewhere.
I mean, you've got 2 knives if it comes down to it, Spider. Firebug will kind of pat your shoulder and look towards one of the other doors. As her hand gets close to the ring on your shoulder, there'll be kind of static feedback that pushes her hand away. And looking a little confused, she'll lower it again. The glow of the golden rings allow you to see each other in the dark by its dim light. And you can guess you'd likely be able to see the other teams as well by their glow.
Not happy about that.
There's a door which rests in each cardinal direction. Which way do you choose to go? I'll allow you to collaborate and then choose which one of you will tell me directions here.
Go west?
Not familiar at all with this place, so Might be the best way. I don't know. There's no way to tell.
I mean, like I said, so clearly this is not Angola. So I got fuck all where we are. We could Rochambeau, or I don't know.
I think west works for me.
I was like, wait a minute. I get up and look towards the door that goes west and kind of try to like focus my eyes out that door to see if I see anything.
You do your best to see through the illusion as you focus in your eyes. As though sensing you are doing something, the drone moves down to get a better look at you, and you can see the dim glow of its metal as it's close enough to your shoulder light at this point.
That's gonna get real old.
As you do your best to focus in and see down the hall, you see something move across it. It takes up the majority of the hallway and moves in such a disjointed fashion that there's no way that your eyes could be telling you the truth of what you're seeing. It moves across to one wall and then up and out of sight as it moves towards the ceiling.
Something crawling. I think we should pick another way.
Look south.
I stride over to the south door and try to focus my eyeballs on it.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna look north.
Okay. See through the illusion.
As I'm peering and kind of getting my eyes to focus from the light of the room around me to the dark out there, I'm blinking heavily.
You again see something move across the hallway. Though this time it does not move across and up the wall, but instead moves and then turns to go down the hall in the opposite direction of you. It seems to be pacing something, and for a moment you catch the slight glimpse of a red glow in the distance.
Red.
Spider, looking down the north hall, you definitely see a blue glow at shoulder level, and then 4 more blue glows at floor level, slowly moving back, as though one is being drugged, and then the other is having to catch up. That's all you see.
There's people this way.
I think the red people are this way. I mean, like the red lighted people.
Blue's this way. What's east?
East is the way that Audrey came from. This seems to have not changed. The dead CO still lays in the middle of the hallway.
I say we search the cop.
Yeah, I didn't think to do that. Yeah, let's go this way. That's the way I came from. And I can't say it's safe, but...
As you move through the east door and start to head down the hallway, Firebug will make sure that she's the last through the door and look back as she watches the other 3 doors close on their own, and the drone buzz out into the hall behind you. She'll have to jump back quickly as the door you went through also closes in her face. Clicking on her mag light, she'll furrow her brow and turn to face the 2 of you as you inspect the cop, or the correctional officer. You'll find simple gear upon her: a taser, a collapsible baton, radio, handcuffs, gloves. Not much else.
Taking all of it, spreading, let's see, you said, taser, handcuffs.
Yeah. Gloves, like latex gloves, radio, and actually she would have pepper spray as well.
Pepper spray. Yeah, I'll pass the pepper spray over to Spider. Spread the love a little.
Appreciate it.
With the items dispersed among you, the radio will crackle for a moment in your hand, Audrey. And to what Spider would just hear white noise, you'll hear the sound of the voice. It encourages you. It reinforces the idea that this must be the right way. This is the way you came from. And any way that you came from must be the right path today.
I say nothing but smile and nod down at the radio.
It will then cut to a new channel, and this time all three of you will hear the same thing. 137 to 248, we have an emergency on floor 30. Both green and purple moving swiftly to encounter COs under keep watch, keep will engage. A few moments later, the sound of heavy weapons fire erupts from the floors below you. It echoes up for a few seconds and then goes quiet. The drone will whir for a moment, and then its symbol in the front of its lens will illuminate brightly, illuminating the hallway around you as the speaker once more lowers from its bottom. Green and purple teams have been eliminated. 13 teams remain. The speaker will then retract into the drone, and the light will dim again.
I think up for now.
Yeah.
The radio will crackle.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
The radio will crackle just after Spider says that. 248 to 137. Targets eliminated. Tactical team moving up. The radio will then cut off.
Shit. We need to find out what's at the end of this hallway.
Yeah.
I don't think standing still is a good idea.
Right. Let's go. And I speed walk. Not fast enough to make a whole bunch of noise, but just trying to move as fast as my Crocs will carry me.
As your Crocs squeak against the tile floor, the three of you make your way to the end of the hall. The closer you get, the louder a strange sound begins to meet your ears, and then the sound becomes a rumble that shakes your very bones. There's definitely some kind of heavy machinery in motion. And as you reach the hall, and your lights cut through an open doorway, you see a circular catwalk. The room is so vast in diameter that you cannot see the other side, but you know that this catwalk encircles it, and in the center is only a drop-off of darkness. The sound comes from in that darkness somewhere below, and above is the darkness of the other 6 floors. You only have your 3 lights to guide you.
So, they're going up. So instead I say we go down. Just need to figure out how to do that.
I'm open for suggestions.
We follow the circle, see if we find any stairs.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I'm feeling hurted, but...
As you follow the circle to see if there's any stairs, will you be taking the same way around?
Yeah, I think staying together is probably the best.
Left or right?
Left.
As the 3 of you move left around the circular catwalk, you'll begin to pass several more cell doors. The portholes that are open reveal the cells to be empty, though once in a while you'll pass the bodies of other teams. Most often it is 2 bodies and 1 living. as far as they've made it and unable to go any further. You will find a staircase that seems to lead down and the other half to lead up, higher into the facility, but it's well before you reach the other side of the circle, and more lies beyond. It is up to you where you continue to go.
You still think up's the way? Down?
Yeah, away from the tactical team. They're on 30 and going up. Yeah, definitely down. Maybe, spitball in here. Current goal, get down to the 4th floor, locate the door so we know where it is. So we don't have the keys, we can't use it right now, but we can at least have an idea where it is so we can get the fuck out of here quick.
That's true.
There's nothing in here is going to be doing us any favors.
Firebug, who's been looking nervously behind the three of you this entire time, will kind of nod. I mean, that's a good idea and all, but I think one of the other teams is also following your same traction, so we're going to move. We should figure it out. Looking in that same direction, if you chose to, you'll see that she is watching a slight, faint red light that is on the other side of the dark circular room. It moves in the same direction you had been moving, of course, but on the opposite side of the hole. It's unclear if they'll circle back around to where you are now. And it appears to only be one of their 3-person team.
I think we can assume that they've seen us.
Yeah, I think
they can see 3.
Down it is.
Yeah, good idea. You two start down. Firebug will remove one of the Molotovs from inside of her jacket and start to flick at her lighter a bit nervously as she watches the red light.
Maybe stow the ordnance?
If we can create some more light, they won't see which way we go down these stairs, right?
Just don't light it accidentally, okay?
Yeah, okay. She'll wait to see if the two of you will move down first.
Yeah.
Audrey moves down. Spider, you follow?
Yep.
As the two of you move down the stairs and get about halfway down the first set, you'll hear the breaking of glass and a sudden wash of fire as the light of flame fills the hall above you. Firebug will quickly come down the stairs, putting out her flaming shoulder as she does so and laughing as though it's the most joyful event of her entire life. We should probably get going. I threw it at him, but it missed, so they might be a little bit angry.
That's the spirit. And pick up my pace.
As the three of you quickly go down the stairs, you'll reach the 31st floor landing. The door is unlocked, but the hallway beyond, of course, is dark. There's no glow or noise from the other side, likely meaning that the tactical team hasn't made it there yet, or they've already moved forward. Do you enter or continue down?
Then there's nothing, no movement or anything down this hallway?
You're welcome to crack the door and observe the situation, if you so choose.
Yes. Yeah, what kind of door is it? Big metal door?
It's like an emergency exit door. meaning you believe that you're actually in some kind of emergency stairwell. It's just one of the normal push kind from the other side. Your side has a turn handle.
Mm.
As you're inspecting the door, you'll hear a noise in the hallway beyond. It'll for a moment sound like a slight of surprise. There'll be a gunshot, which sounds like the same rifles from below, but only one, followed by a much more powerful report of a weapon, and then silence.
That's down the hallway or through the door?
As through the door and down the hall of the 31st floor.
Keep on the stairs?
It sounds like one. Might be an opportunity to get a weapon, but that's a risk.
It is. I think this whole thing is a risk. I would very much like to have a gun. We have one cocktail left. What you got? Crowbar?
Yeah, and
Taser?
Taser.
Yeah, fuck that.
Alright, well let's do it then. Firebug throws open the door and enters the hallway, looking around. As she does so, she's quickly forced to duck back down and enter the stairwell again as the report of the powerful handgun goes off and a round chunks into the wood, the wall next to where she had just been at. Well, there's certainly someone down there. She'll start to fidget with her lighter again.
Down, girl.
I didn't get a chance to see if it was a CO or what, though. Hell of a gun, from what it sounds like.
Yes, it does.
Maybe I can talk to them.
Be my guest.
Yeah, I mean, sure, Camp, go ahead. Firebug will move out of the way of the door.
I crack the door and just project my voice down the hallway. Hey, we don't mean you any harm. We're just trying to, play the game.
What color are you?
I mean, that's kind of racist, isn't it? Oh, what? We're yellow, right? Was that what it was? Gold? Gold. Yeah. We're gold.
Where's Red? Have you seen Red?
No. Why are you looking for red?
Look, just stay down there. Don't come this way, alright? We're just gonna keep moving.
We're? How many you got?
There'll be a long pause. 3. One of us went to check something out, but they should be back in a second. Just...
Can I read a person just listening to them?
Yes. What would you like to know?
One question. Yeah. Are they lying?
Very obvious.
It's straightforward. Yeah. It's just one.
Spider has made a lifetime of conning others and making crime their business. And because that is their business, they can definitely tell that this man is trying to con Audrey Kemp out of the situation. And there's likely only one person at the end of this hallway. She's fucking lying, Kemp. We should go kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Be real quick. Firebug's lighter clicks next to you.
You think one of us could sneak? Well, no, these lights. It's so annoying. I say, well, glad you still got a little group down there. That's nice. Then you wouldn't mind. It'd be, 2 on 3. That's not really that much of a difference. We'll come down and say hello.
Just... What? No, just stay... Oh, God.
No, it's not a problem.
You'll hear a lot
We're
of
friendly,
clacking.
I promise.
You'll have a lot of shuffling and movement, and since you are appearing to talk, you will see a slight flash of red down the hallway around the corner before it moves behind the wall again.
Oh.
If you start down that hallway, I swear I'm going to shoot you.
That's why you're nervous. You're a red. What'd your other red do?
Look, I just want to get out of here, okay?
So do we. Join us.
How do I know you're not just gonna take me out as soon as I step around this wall?
Look.
That's what Purple tried to do.
Purple. Really just a very tricky color. Gold, though? Well, that's a good color. Don't you think there's some rhyme or reason to these colors they gave us?
I mean, the warden seems quite the eccentric person. I don't... You know what? Just screw you, alright?
Oh.
You'll hear the sound of footsteps moving down the hallway away from you. Firebug will move past you through the door and begin running down the hall after them.
Kid.
We need the fucking gun, Kemp! She'll say as she slams into the wall at the far end, going too fast to make the turn, and barely missing the round that fires back at her to hit the wall. She'll duck, but then charge that direction anyways, leaving Kemp and Spider alone in the doorway.
Wow. That kid's something. Better go so I can at least get her arms. If she's gonna kill herself. I follow Firebug down the hallway, but at a steady pace, not a run.
Sorry, I was catching Nico back up. As you begin to kind of jog down the hallway and look down, you'll see that the red person has apparently barricaded themselves in one of the rooms as Firebug stands outside of it, violently banging on the door, calling them many slurs that they can think of as they try to goad them out. This fucker locked themselves inside. Now what are we going to do?
I'm going to assess the area and see if there's another entrance to that room or a way in somehow.
There is not. Much like the cell that Spider came from, it appears to be solitary confinement.
They barricaded or they locked the door?
Firebug will kind of shine her flashlight in there, then move it back real quick as one of the shots hits the wall close to them. It looks like they at least tried to block the door, but a really shitty job of it. Guess they haven't been here very long.
Try the door. I mean, obviously they blocked it, but see if it's locked.
She'll try to open the door and it will move before being pulled back closed quite hard by the person on the other side. Oh, this little fucker. She'll start to bang on the door harder.
Pull out the mace.
She'll look at the mace and then, being wary of having been in solitary herself, step back.
I'm gonna avoid the window, but I'm gonna get next to the door, just right where it's gonna be opening. Both of y'all work on that door. get it open. As soon as I got a gap, I'm going to blast him.
All right. Engage in combat.
I stand beside the kid and get ready to grab the door as soon as it kind of opens out of the... As soon as she pulls it open a little bit to pull it out.
As the two of you force the door open, Spider, you have the perfect opportunity to spray the pepper spray both into the person's face and into the room as a whole as it cracks open just before they slam it back shut. And then the door will open again as they come out coughing and wheezing, wiping at their eyes and kind of pointing the gun around to try and keep you all back. Get the fuck away from me, he says as snot pours down his face.
Anybody else following up?
Having been like behind the door, I'm gonna scoot around the kid and try to hit him with my crowbar.
I mean, I'm not gonna make you roll. Do you stop this time? Which is the question I need to ask. Is it just once? You're muted.
No, I am going to hit him multiple times in the head because if he gets back up, he's not going to like that we pepper sprayed him and took his gun.
Spider goes very quiet, or not Spider, Firebug goes very quiet as she stands and watches you do the same to this man's head that you did to C.O. Martinez's head, this time in less blows as you have a bit of your strength and resolve back to you. There's a crackle from the radio as the voice says, "Good job." And then
That's
silence.
reassuring. While Kemp is John Torrance, Jack Torrance, I'm going to grab the gun.
You receive a .44 Magnum revolver in perfect condition, except for the bloodstains on it and brain matter from Kemp slamming into his head, of course. Though all rounds in it are currently spent,
Search him.
you find 12 more rounds in the jacket pocket of his uniform. Hollow point. Police spread.
I wipe the blood off on the unsullied part of his clothing, the crowbar off, and stick it back in my pocket and look at them and just shrug. Couldn't let him live, now could we?
I mean, that does seem to be the name of the game. I'm going to load the revolver and put the safety on and put it in my pocket for the time being.
Firebug will remain silent. She is a murderer, but her victims... She's always gone before those things occur.
I'm going to read a person.
Go ahead.
Are you reading me or Firebug?
Firebug.
Oh, okay.
11.
You may ask one question. They don't have to be the listed questions if you have a preferred one.
Idea. Is she up to this?
You can tell by the way she watches the body below that it is not a lack of willingness to continue, but more a deep setting in of reality of what she has chosen to do with her life. She'll look up and meet your eyes as you look at her, and then give you an emotionless nod. The red lights around the man's shoulders do not dim, though the drone above you pops and flashes its new picture. The speaker will lower from the bottom, but this time the announcement won't sound like it's to everyone else. It'll be the voice of the warden. Congratulations! I hope that felt great. Got some stress out? all that pent-up aggression, and I hope that it can be all gone by the time you get out here. I should let you know that there is one member of Red Team remaining if you do wish to have that tallied on your score. Of course, they are quite burned at this point. If I can help in any way, please locate a warden station. They are located on odd-numbered floors. Be wary of the tactical team. They'll cut out. We'll return to the drone.
Well then. That last member of Red probably is gonna come for us. And they're gonna want this. And I point down to the lights.
Mm-hmm.
I say we throw it down the hole.
I say we dig out the light and crush it.
Firebug will look down at the man, and then back at Spider.
I nod at the suggestion and just pull out the crowbar and start trying to pry the light out.
Scalpel, not a hammer.
As the two of you begin working out the injections, please roll influence other for me.
I should be really good at that. I really should.
Firebug seems a little off-put by the way that Audrey decides to go about removing the light injection, mainly because it's quite a violent thing to remove something from a body using a crowbar edge. You have a negative relationship with Firebug for the remainder of the day, while Firebug seems to gain some more friendliness towards you, as you seem to be planning what's going on. You will gain +1 to your relationship score. Making distance between you and her, Kemp, Firebug will look around, trying to keep a watch as the two of you finally remove the small chips which make the lights illuminate from your shoulders. The lights will die out, and then an alarm will sound from the drone above you. It'll last for only about 10 seconds before being cut off.
Okay. Just now you can use the crowbar and, make sure they're dead.
What?
But I think we need to get going because that's probably calling the tactical team. I'm just going to assume. I don't have a good association with alarms, having spent a considerable amount of time in the penal system.
248
don't mean good things.
248 to Master Control, Tactical Team moving to floor 31, Teams B, C, and D converging on Sector Alpha.
We go. Down.
Come on, kiddo, let's get out of here. Wait, start booking it.
She'll let you get about 10 feet in front of her before she starts running after you, wary of the crowbar in your hand that you swing like you're Dr. Freeman from Half-Life.
If only. Freeman's a silent protagonist.
Making it back to the emergency stairwell, you'll hear boots coming up the stairs from below you. Most of the fire has dissipated above you as well. You can kind of hear the pained groaning of someone trying to make their way down the stairs from up there.
Do these sound like booted feet or clogged feet?
Down below, it's like boots. Up above, sounds like bare feet.
So, let's go up. We're out sideways. Anybody else got any suggestions?
Either up or back the way we just came. There might be another stairwell. Or we're gonna have to kill that guy too.
I'm down with that. We just need to stay the hell away from the tactical teams. And there is one above us that is coming down at some point.
Up. Let's scoot past whoever this is. I mean, well, we know who it is, probably, huh?
I got a plan. She will eye Audrey and then move up the stairwell, keeping her eye on her. Assuming the two of you follow, you'll see as she reaches the last red member, who seems to have very severe burns over most of his body, as even though she missed with the cocktail, it did rain alcohol fire down upon his head to fill the hallway. He does his best to raise the machete in his left hand, but is too wounded to be much use as she grabs hold of his shoulders, and since she is quite a strong person, flings him over the side of the stairwell to plummet down the many floors to the second sub-basement below. You will see his red light for about 5 floors before it is washed out in the darkness. You will see flashlights flick on and move in the gap, which illuminate the 3 tactical teams down below, each team representing 6 different officers in full tactical gear with rifles. An announcement will sound from the drone. Congratulations! Gold team has eliminated the red team and will be tallied up on their count. This will earn you an extra $1,000 pay upon release. Please enjoy your stay in the keep. It will then click off again as the lights point straight up towards where you were, causing Firebug to also move back as Spider did, out of the range of the light. Audrey, do you too move?
Yeah, I'm sliding back out of that way.
Is there anything above us? Any lights?
There are no lights above you that you can see.
Up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of limited, but we can maybe go up and spread sideways and lateral and get back down. But yeah.
As you quickly move up to the... Oh, go ahead, Marlo.
The warden stations are on which floors again?
Odd
floors.
Odd. Yeah, let's go up.
Quickly going up, you can hear the tactical teams flick off their lights and continue up the stairwell. They'll branch off into the 31st floor, and then one of them will continue up to the 32nd floor but not proceed to follow you to the 33rd. When you reach the emergency door on this floor, you find that it is hanging halfway off of its hinges, only the bottom one attached. Some kind of deep claw mark grooves the center of it. At first you would think it may have been a bear from its size, but then no bear tends to have claws larger than your torso. It's a wonder it didn't peer through the door entirely. Spider, going in first?
Sure. Flicking off my light, letting my eyes adjust.
Firebug will of course follow Audrey in, so she doesn't have to be behind her. And then we'll continue. As the 3 of you move onto the 33rd floor, you'll find something quite different than you found below. And perhaps the explanation for why the tactical team is not moving down, but rather up. Several more contestants, if that is what you want to call yourself, lay strewn across the hallway. Many of these have no ring light. However, one seems to still be shallowly breathing. The lights of green gently glowing on their shoulders. And as Spider, as you get a little closer, you can see that they were not part of what happened here. They've drugged themselves up here. Most likely escaping the tactical teams below that you know just reportedly illuminated both green and purple.
Gonna nudge them with my foot.
Just let me... Tactical teams ambushed us. 3 floors down. I got back up here, and I don't know. I've been coming in and out. You can see that he's very heavily wounded oozing quite a bit of blood from the gunshot wounds inflicted upon him by the tactical team. Something carried me up here. They didn't finish any of us off. They just let something in the dark carry us to wherever it was going to take us. Don't let them get you too. You can tell that his ramblings are continued only because he is at the end. And with his final word, his breath shakes. And he passes, his eyes still staring into your face.
So goes. Search him. Search all of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna start on one end, searching them.
It takes a little while to search all the bodies. Several of them are much more heavily wounded than you would expect, with one of them even only being their upper torso, the remains of them, with no signs of the lower half around.
What the fuck?
You do find several helpful things. One of them wears a flak vest, though it's already been impacted by several rounds, likely from the tactical team. Another has one of the rifles stolen from a dead tactical team member. It is an AR-15 and still has one full mag. There's 2 other mags with it, but they are empty. On the man who spoke to you before he died, you will find a thin silver blade. It has no hilt, but it would be full tang if it did. It covers the length of your forearm from wrist at blade tip to the tang at elbow crease. Engraved into its blade is the same symbol on the drone which watches you from above.
I'm gonna cut the sleeve off my jumpsuit and shiv wrap the handle.
As you begin to make a makeshift handle for it, the drone will snap its picture of what you're doing and then let out a slight chirp as though pleased with what it's witnessing. It'll rise again into the air, and then as though from a recreated tone on it, you'll hear a soft chuckle. Don't go killing any noses while you're out there. And then it'll tone out. As the drone settles in to watch you once more, the final item will be found on the inmate furthest from your starting location. It is heavy and made of black iron, but is very clearly a key. We'll say that Audrey, since you started at the furthest move down, would find that.
I hold the key up and look at them.
That looks like one.
One down. What do you think? Give the kid the flak jacket?
Firebug will adjust it on themselves as best they can, though they don't really seem keen on removing their puffy coat that they have on, so they're unable to clasp it closed properly. They give you kind of a look as though threatening you to say something, and then remembering that you're holding a crowbar that you've just used to kill 2 people. They'll kind of just look away and try to get their bearings. You both do your best to see through the illusion as something shifts in the darkness ahead.
I sort of get distracted by the key and start inspecting it before looking up around, just realizing, oh, maybe there's something going on.
While Audrey is trying to come back into focus, Spider, you definitely see something moving at the end of that hall. And as it unfurls itself from its slumber, you can only compare it to some kind of salamander. Though a salamander the size of a Volkswagen bus. As it kind of stretches its claws, clearly what made the impression upon the door, and opens a mouth capable of swallowing both you and Audrey at once, to show 2 sets of hooked up teeth. With a clicking, it rattles its head and settles large eyes upon all 3 of you, and seems to hesitate, surprised that you are there. I will let the 3 of you react first, well, starting with Spider.
I'm gonna stand very still. Have the blade in one hand, but gun settled in my palm. Ready, but I'm not gonna draw attention to myself.
As you get set, Firebug will choose to slowly move back towards the door as she keeps her eyes on the thing. Audrey, what do you do?
Was I the one who picked up the AR?
Yes.
Yeah, I with a steady hand, put the AR up against brace it up against my shoulder and hold it forward, ready, looking down the sights.
So you both choose to engage in combat?
I think I'm waiting to see what it does.
Yeah, I'm holding off, holding my action.
Yeah.
Good to go. Here we go then. Let me grab some dice. Because I like to make my fights fair and not just GM move on people.
We thank you.
I will roll at a disadvantage here. I don't have my d10s, so I'll make adjustments as needed. Audrey, you're the closest to the location of the salamander. You're approximately 10 feet away from it. It shifts its gaze from Spider down to you as you finally notice it and raise your rifle, and it lunges forward. How do you react?
As it lunges, I think I'm gonna lay my finger in on that trigger and pull.
All right. So you want to meet its combat with combat? Go ahead and engage.
Fight fire with fire. Ooh.
As you move forward, as your finger pulls home the trigger, you'll be met by the heavy ping of a jam, as of course the AR has not been well kept in this entire situation. This will give the salamander a moment to not just lunge at you, but lunge over you, as it chooses instead to use its long tail to impact you in the side and hit you into one of the walls. You can feel one of your lower ribs fracture slightly. Other than that, you are merely dazed. The salamander sets its claws. Obviously, it's used to guns. And glancing at you again, it looks back to the AR, not anticipating that Spider may have the more powerful weapon in the situation. Perhaps only used to seeing the tactical teams themselves. Spider, you have the next reaction. What action do you want to take when you engage? I think you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Firing as it passes, I'm firing into the side.
Okay. As you begin to fire into your side, it will let out a screech that is hard on your ears, but the wounds will blossom like flowers, erupting molten magma that bleeds forth down its body to burn the tile floor below it. A ripple will run over its body, and the glow of heat will appear beneath that seems to gather up this inner energy inside of its gullet and turn to face you.
Fuck.
You may do your best to avoid harm. As it erupts, your natural instinct is to dive to one side, and this natural instinct pays off as the magma that spews from its gullet courses down the wall into the tile, burning a hole into the next room beyond and destroying several of the bodies that it lands atop of.
It's actual fucking salamander.
The creature will hiss and then croak low in its throat as its skin ripples again, and Firebug seems to be entranced by the flames growing along the walls of the hallway and loses her turn. Audrey, what is your action?
I am going to attempt to clear whatever the jam is. I move over the gun with skilled hands. Somehow this woman knows her way around an AR.
Somehow.
Somehow.
It's just like a level 1 jam. I don't think it's just like a slap pull clear. You're good.
Okay.
You managed to clear out the jammed round pretty swiftly, and another round seats home. I'll allow you to take a combat action if you so choose.
Yes.
Seeing as that is part of your background, would be able to clear your weapon.
I level the shot using the sight and head shoot towards the.
Are you want what part of the body you want?
Let's say the head.
As you fire your round, it'll impact the side of the salamander's head, kicking it for a moment to the side, and causing it to turn and face you. It'll gather the flames within it once more, illuminating its body from beneath its skin as the magma gathers in its gullet. I'll give you the chance to avoid harm as it gathers its attack.
I try to dodge out of the way.
Pick a number between 1 and 4.
2.
As you attempt to dodge out of the way, jumping to your right as the magma erupts forth from the gullet, your left arm will lag be a little bit behind, and from the elbow down become drenched in the magma that it spews forth, for a moment sticking it to the wall behind you, and then burning through as your bone and muscle are eaten away rapidly. But the wound is cauterized afterwards.
Oh God! Oh!
The creature rumbles low in its throat as you see the glow on its back again. But instead of choosing to attack, it looks at the large hole now made where you were standing, which happens to be on the side of the emergency stairwell. It tilts its head and then rapidly exits through the hole and out into the darkness. The drones will ping, followed by a ping all around you. That's on an intercom system. Attention remaining teams. There are 10 of you remaining. The salamander has been released from the 32nd floor. Warden hubs have been outdated with improved equipment. Enjoy your stay. It will then click off. The walls around you burn slowly from the heat of the magma, and Firebug remains standing there in awe of the beauty.
We need to get you to a warden station.
Oh.
Hey, wake up.
Oh. Okay.
Stand up. We gotta move.
Oh.
I know you're hurt.
Jesus.
We gotta go.
Firebug will kind of turn her gaze to the two of you and then slowly look at Audrey's arm and then back to Spider. What was that?
Salamander.
Salamander. She said it with wonder in her voice as she looks out the hole where it went. And then she steps through into the dark. But she only stands on the other side.
Okay.
We gotta find that warden station.
Yeah. We gotta go. Kid, we gotta go.
You think it's gonna burn those floors up there?
I don't know. It probably burns where it goes. We can see the pretty lights later. For now, we need to get Kim to a warden station. If we don't all go through, nobody wins. Nobody gets loose. Nobody goes free. Nobody gets paid.
Oh, you're right.
We gotta go.
Okay. She'll step back through with you. Audrey, while Spider was trying to get Firebug focused, you had time to kind of inspect the hallway. And you see that where the salamander had been laying appears to be kind of bobble. It's exactly as tall as you, except that its head itself kind of takes up the majority of that height. From your waist to the top of your head, very clearly the warden, with both thumbs up.
That's adorable. I think I found the station. Start like hobbling towards it.
Yeah. Gun ready. You hold back a minute. I'm gonna step towards the station. Try to scope things out.
You do your best to avoid harm.
Shit.
As you step within 5 feet of the giant bobblehead warden outpost, you'll hear a slight fizzle, and then the sound of several pops and whooshes of air as things fly past you. Audrey, being behind Spider, you will suddenly hear and see several darts embed themselves in the wall beside you. Most of them are quite black. At the end, some kind of glass of red liquid, which slowly empties as is injected into the wall rather than a body. The chest of the warden closes, and a small sound. You do. Congratulations. You've accessed the warden station. Please choose one item. The chest will open again and display a small computer screen to you. On the computer screen appears to be a full emergency medical backpack that would be found on a paramedic rig. There is another revolver, much like the one that Spider has. And there seems to be some kind of small handheld flame device.
I turn to Firebug. No. You take the kit.
I mean, is
The
it one
kit.
each, or is it just one for the team?
I'm taking the kit. Feel free. I'm going to be standing over there, wrapping up her arm, while you make up your mind and get hit with darts.
You press the kit button on the screen.
Yes.
As you press the kit button, the screen will slide back in and the chest will close. The hands will
That's what
shift
I
to the
thought.
thumbs up again. And then the back will open, and from it will slide out the med kit. The full-scale backpack, including oxygen tank. You could probably survive quite a bit of damage using this. The back will then close once you've retrieved it. The thumbs will lower and the hands will return to its side, and the body will retract into the head, once more setting it on the ground, making it clear how the salamander blocked it with its laying body.
Okay. Gonna disinfect and burn cream and wrap.
Audrey, is there anything you'd like to do while your wound is being dressed?
I look down at the AR that I'm holding in my right arm. Maybe we ought to switch.
Works for me.
I pass over the empty mags, and the gun with the mag in it, the full mag in it, or mostly full at this point.
Yeah, about how many rounds do I have?
You fired 2, right? You had to eject 1?
Yeah.
How nice do I want to be? Because I don't know if I want you to have extended mags or if I want you to have standard mags. You had 1 full magazine.
Mhm.
I never remember if it's 30 on an AR standard. Do you remember, Marlo? I know you know.
Expert with AR. I'll just holler at my partner. Hey.
It's just not something I really want to keep in my head rent-free all the time anymore.
Right.
So, 20 rounds in the AR-15 SP1. We'll say I have an extended 30-round mag metal, 5.56, rather than 2.23.
Much better.
5.56 NATO. You're good to go.
I'm gonna tape the other mags together and wedge them into the backpack, just in case. Waste not, want not.
Yeah, no, that's right.
It takes about 30 minutes to get fully settled, equipped, and changed over. You seem to be safe in this section of the 33rd floor. You may choose to rest here or continue on.
I say we rest while we can.
Yeah.
Is there something we can barricade the door, lock it?
At this point, the door is so badly destroyed from the salamander that there's not. But you can move through the first hole it made into the side room, which appears to just be some kind of small nurse's office.
Okay. So, watches. I'm gonna take first.
I'll take second.
Get some rest.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to sleep with this thing on or even rest, really.
Yeah.
Flop my half an arm. And,
Okay, I'm gonna take a corner.
Firebug will settle in to another corner, kind of holding her lighter as protection. As the 3 of you settle in to rest, there will be another ping from the drone. Congratulations to the Silver Team on eliminating the salamander on the 40th floor. You have been rewarded 1 rocket-propelled grenade and 1 full armor kit. You may pick them up on the 39th floor warden's post. Enjoy!
what the fuck?
Above you, you can hear the dying scream of the salamander and several explosions as it's ripped apart by its own flames. In anticipation of the salamander being eliminated so early in the game, I've taken it upon myself to release 2 more salamanders. They'll be moving forward from the sub-basement too. Good luck, teams on the lower floors. We hope that you too will end up lucky enough to upgrade your equipment. and Gold Team, rest well.
Who's going lizard hunting? We's going lizard hunting.
And that is where we'll end the episode for tonight.
Cool.
I know we went over our hour and a half mark.
Yep.
Thank you for everyone who listened, for sure. We had a pretty good showing tonight. It fluctuated quite a bit, but I'm glad for everyone who was here and watched. I hope it was a good time. It's a little bit more direct than Sleep Sayeth the Night Mother. And the pacing against the players is a little more intense, too.
Aliens to alien.
Yeah. There's still a lot to discover and lots of puzzles. I know the beginning seemed a little railroaded for everyone, but
First session.
so you are free to continue on. I'll give you outlets to move forward, but you're free to explore as you choose.
Hell
You've
yeah.
got a lot of floors to cover. Yeah. Thank you, everyone listening. Please check out our Patreon if you'd like to support us. That is patreon.com/transientpresents. Marlo, will you throw that into the chat real quick for me? We'll have that up there. You can also find me on Twitter at xthetransient. You can find Marlo on Twitter at MarloBogwitch. That's with 2 G's, like Snoop Dogg. And you can find Nico at Satan Solarist. We're all glad that you came back for Season 2 to listen. We will be back on Friday with our review. We were going to review every single Hellraiser movie. And then we realized we couldn't afford to rent every single Hellraiser movie. So I think we decided to do the first 3 and the newest one.
It's
yes, I think so.
yeah. It's different. It's very different. Yeah.
I'll make sure to take plenty of notes. But I think that's our plan. We'll also talk about at least the first book. I know Marlo's almost done with the second book, The Scarlet Gospel, so if she finishes it, we might talk a little bit about it, but our focus is going to be those first 3 in the final. So hopefully y'all can tune in for that. That's going to be Friday at 9, right? 9. Yeah, sorry, we had a week off and it threw everything off. Tomorrow we begin our playtesting for Mork Borg. That is unbroadcasted, I'm sorry to say. I might talk to Marlo, as she is our storyteller for that show, about recording the audio to release to those Patreons who would have access to the playtest audio. I believe that's what Gold or Omni tier, or Platinum or Omni, those 2. So check out Patreon if you want access to that exclusive playtesting type stuff.
But rest assured, friends, it won't be like story material, hardcore story material. It's just going to be little snippets and bites of things.
Yeah. Well, it'll also help you all to understand the new game we're going to be playing, because it will be, like I said, Mork Borg on Tuesdays, which will be an entirely different system, and we're hoping to play Blades in the Dark on Thursdays once we get all that worked out too. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. We're going to have our little post-show discussion, and then I have to go to Walmart, so bye-bye.